Third Crusade. In 1178, Joachim appealed to William II, who granted the Cistercian monks some lands. In that same year, he became abbot of the Benedictine Corazzo in Calabria. After 4 years serving as abbot, Joachim gathered the support of his peers to incorporate the monastery of Corazzo into the Cistercian order. In 1184, Joachim met with Pope Lucius III, c. 1097–1185, in the nearby city of Veroli, where he presented him with his unfinished book Liber de Concordia. Joachim informed the Pope that Jerusalem would eventually fall into the hands of the Muslims, as it did in 1187, and would prove the accuracy of his predictions. In 1186, he went to visit the newly elected Pope, Urban III, d. 1187, in Verona, who also approved of his expositions and encouraged him to continue writing. By the end of 1187, when Saladin had taken Acre and Jerusalem, Urban III is said to have collapsed and died upon hearing the news of the outcome of the Battle of Hattin. 40. The new Pope, Gregory VIII, c. 1100–1105–1187, interpreted the fall of Jerusalem as punishment for the sins of Christians across Europe. In 1187, Gregory VIII called for the Third Crusade, which was led by Frederick I Barbarossa and several of Europe's most important leaders, including Philip II of France, Richard the Lionheart. In that same year, Frederick had received letters sent to him from the rulers of the Crusader states in the Holy Land urging him to come to their aid. Cardinal Henry of Marcy preached a sermon for the crusade before Frederick and a public assembly in Strasbourg. At Strasbourg, Frederick had imposed a small tax on the Jews of Germany to fund the venture. Frederick also placed the Jews under his protection and forbade anyone to preach against them. 41 As reported by Rabbi and Kabbalist Eliezer ben Judah ben Kalanimus, c. 1176–1238, also known as Eliezer of Worms, the last major member of the Ashkenazi Hasidim, when mobs threatened the Jews of Mainz on the eve of the assembly, Frederick sent the imperial marshal to disperse them. Rabbi Eliezer's brother-in-law, the wealthy Jew Moses HaKohen, then met with the Frederick, which resulted in an imperial edict threatening maiming or death for anyone who committed the same to a Jew. Frederick and the rabbi rode through the streets together to assure the Jews of their safety. Frederick successfully prevented a repeat of the massacres that had accompanied the First Crusade and Second Crusade in Germany. 42. Frederick Barbarossa drowned in Asia Minor in 1190, while leading an army in the Third Crusade, leaving an unstable alliance between the English and the French. Philip II returned to France in 1191, after the Crusaders had recaptured the city of Acre from the Muslims. The Crusader army, led by Richard I of England, recaptured the port city of Jaffa. Richard left the following year after negotiating a treaty with Saladin. After Henry II's death in 1189, Peter of Blois devoted himself to promoting the new crusade and to writing a biography of the crusader Reynald of Chatillon, a firm supporter of Baldwin IV's sister, Sibylla, and her husband, Guy of Lusignan. Sibylla was raised by her great-aunt, the Abbess Ioveta of Bethany, sister of former Queen Melisende of Jerusalem, the daughter of Baldwin II and Morphia of Armenia of the Skull of Sidon legend. He and Baldwin of Ford, c. 1125–1190, Archbishop of Canterbury, set out for the Holy Land late in 1189, accompanying Richard the Lionheart as far as Sicily. In April 1188, Baldwin was in Wales on a tour attempting to secure support for the King's Crusade, and was forcing his servants and followers to exercise on foot up and down hills in preparation for the journey to the Holy Land. Peter spent most of the year in Wales, preaching the crusade, accompanied by the chronicler Gerald of Wales. 43. In the winter of 1190, soon after landing in Sicily, Richard and King Philip II of France met with Joachim and asked him to comment on a passage of the Book of Revelation which speaks about a seven-headed dragon, commonly interpreted as the Antichrist. 44. Joachim revealed that, according to the prophecy of the seven kings in Revelation 17, the effort of the Crusaders would be in vain and the Muslims would remain in control of Jerusalem and the Holy Land. 45. In 1188, Joachim had left his refuge in Petrolata and went to Rome to visit the newly appointed Pope, Clement III, 1130–1191. Joachim expounded his views on Christian reform and the imminent end of the world. Clement responded favorably, granting Joachim permission to found a new monastic order with the goal of fostering spiritual reform within the Church. Clement also encouraged Joachim to complete his work and to submit it to the Holy See for investigation. In 1192, Joachim and his closest disciples started building a new monastery called San Giovanni di Fiore, in expectation of the new life they expected to flourish in the coming millennium. 46. In 1184, William II released his 30-year-old aunt Constance, also Queen of Sicily and daughter of Roger II, from convent, engaged her to the Frederick Barbarossa's son, the future Emperor Henry VI, 1165–1197, to secure the peace, and married her off in 1186. Constance was the daughter of Roger II's second marriage in 1149 to Sibylla, daughter of Hugh II, Duke of Burgundy, the son of Odo I of Burgundy. In 1193, Joachim's supporter, Tancred of Lecce, king of the Norman kingdom, died and the kingdom of Sicily fell to Emperor Henry VI and his wife Constance. When Joachim met with Henry VI and Constance in Palermo in 1195, Joachim proclaimed that Henry VI's invasion of the Norman kingdom was the deed of feroces barbarorum animi. However, Joachim also declared that these events occurred in fulfillment of the prophetic history. Joachim compared Henry VI to the ancient Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar. Ezekiel's prophecy of Nebuchadnezzar's destruction of the Tyre on the Mediterranean, according to Joachim, foreshadowed the destruction of the Norman kingdom of Sicily. According to Ezekiel 26:7, for thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will bring upon Tyrus Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, a king of kings, from the north, with horses and with chariots, and with horsemen and companies and much people. 47.